We're talking about the Hoka Skyflow. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Cody with the Shoe In With Cody, and today we got ourselves a good one. We are talking about the newest shoe from Hoka, the Skyflow. In this video, I'm going to go over the good, the bad, and my verdict. Should you buy this shoe? Yeah, this shoe right here. Now, before I dive into all that goodness, I do need to point out one thing. This shoe was provided to me by Hoka, but they have no opinion on what I'm going to put in this review or on any of my content. I also have a favor to ask you. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button. You know you want to, cost you absolutely nothing, but it definitely helps the channel. Now let's sit back, relax, and let's talk about the Hoka Skyflow. Because I'm a positive guy, I'm going to start with the positives. And there's a lot to like about this shoe. When I first got this shoe and Hoka told me it's kind of a betweener of the Clifton and the Bondi, I was kind of confused. I didn't really think they needed it. But after running in it, I'm so glad Hoka dropped the Skyflow. I really just enjoyed racking the miles in. I have maybe about 36, 38 miles in, if not more. I'm in the middle of marathon training, and I just been reaching for this shoe, which always tells me a shoe is pretty darn good when I keep reaching for it. The foam they are using is really nice. There's a ton of it, and I am telling you, it just feels fantastic. When I took this out for a 16-mile run, it was comfortable, but also really responsive. For that run, I wanted to do in the 7s. I was able to get 7:30 effortlessly. I'm telling you, I was not pushing the pace. I didn't feel like I was going fast. I was really surprised that a shoe like this, I could easily pick up the paces. Again, I am feeling fit, but I didn't think I was going to be in the 7:30s, and when I saw that on my watch and I was wearing the shoe, I was just like, okay, now this is what I am talking about. The upper is really nice, no issues at all, great lockdown in. It really just secured my foot and I felt fantastic. I went true to size, my regular 9.5 in men's, no issues at all. So if you are worried about your length of the shoe, no issues. And I also didn't find the shoe to be too shallow. That's like right here. It was enough room in there for me. I have a wideish foot, not a wide foot, but a wideish foot. Really no issues at all when it came to that. The other thing I really like is the rubber. I know some people kind of complain about that, but I love the additional rubber. I know it adds weight, but when I'm running on the rail trails near your roads or anything like that, and I have this, it just feels more secure. I'm not slipping and sliding, and I'm also not ripping the foam up. To me personally, I'd rather have a little extra weight, have that extra foam for that durability. And I really do think the Skyflow is a very durable shoe. So one thing I talked about with the running, I also want to talk about all my walking I've been doing in this shoe. In my first impressions, I talked about how I use this at an amusement park with my family. And honestly, I've been using this to walk the dog, hang out with the family, go to soccer practices. This is definitely a shoe. I think if you're on your feet a lot, not just for running, but on your feet for your profession, you're definitely going to reach this one. I would actually prefer this one over the Clifton or the Bondi, in my humble opinion. I just think the cushion feels a lot better. The lockdown feels better. It just feels overall like a better shoe in my opinion. With the good, you know there has to be some bad, and there are only a handful of bad things about the shoe, and I don't think any of them are deal breakers, but I do want to point them out. The first one is definitely the weight. I did 16 miles into the shoe, and again, I said I felt fast, but definitely at the end, I could definitely feel the weight of the shoe. For a Hoka, I find this to be a little bit on the heavier side. I believe it's in the 10s. Not a deal breaker, but it is something I want to point out. If you plan on going longer than 16, going to the 20s, maybe using this for a marathon, I think at some point it might just feel a little heavy. The upper, great lockdown, no issues at all. It did run a tad hot. Again, it's starting to cool down a little bit. Fall weather's coming in, but when we were having heat waves and I was running in the shoe, it felt a tad hot. That is something I want to talk about. There are a lot of the materials they're using. I just don't know. It just felt a little bit hot. There was a couple times when I was running where I was like, ooh, my toesies feel a little hot. But really, those are the main two ones. The last one it's definitely kind of there's not much flex to it. I really had to kind of anchor that one down. Again, to me, that's not really a deal breaker to me, but I think some people are going to find issues with that. And again, if you have a wide foot, with most Hokas these days, I don't think wide feet are going to work with most of these shoes. But again, that's about it. There's a lot to like about this shoe, but there are some negatives. So you heard the good, you heard the bad, and now you want to know, should you buy this shoe? It's yes. It is an absolute yes for me. I did not, if you would have asked me when I got this shoe, I would have been like, yeah, no, probably not. Don't get it. But it's an absolute yes for me. I love the foam they're using. I love that it's a versatile shoe. I can use it for daily runs, long runs when I want to pick the pace up a little bit. Now, I'm not talking about speed work, but pick the pace up a little bit, as well as recovery runs. This is a very versatile shoe. I think you get a ton out of this shoe. I really, really do. I think it just hits the mark for me. And I also think if you're in an industry where you're on your feet a lot, yeah, I think this is a great option for you. Not only is it comfortable, but it has rubber. One thing you don't want is to be at the hospital or on your feet and slipping and sliding because it does not have the rubber to when you're running through the halls or in an area where it could be a little bit slippery. So I think those added things help it for a non-running shoe if you're looking for your professional career. But for a running shoe, I think it just hits the mark. My only kind of complaint about the shoe is I think it's going to be a little confusing for people. You have a Clifton, Skyflow, Bandai. I think sometimes now too many options from Hoka might make it a little confusing. Honestly, I would eliminate the Clifton and eliminate the Bandai and go straight to this. In my humble opinion, I think the Bandai is a little too, it's not as soft as we think it is, and I think the Clifton needs an update, and I think this is the update. If you would have told me this is the Clifton 10, I would have believed it. I think this is just a little bit better than the Clifton and the Bandai. So again, if you are looking for a daily trainer to go long in it, Skyflow is definitely for you. You heard the good, you heard the bad, and you heard my verdict. Now I want to hear from you. Do you like this shoe? Do you love this shoe? Do you hate this shoe? Let me know. Drop a comment down below and let me know what I can answer for you to get this shoe on your feet. Again, I appreciate you watching this video. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel and liking this video. We got a lot happening in this channel and I want you guys involved. Thank you for watching the review. And until next time, I'll see you out on the run.